welcome to the Unseen Thread. My name is Jen, and I wanted to share a collective message today. So last night when I was painting, and I'm an intuitive artist, by the way, when I was painting, I was getting the archetypal messenger. So you can look at this image and see different things in it. I see an elephant's head, which represents memory. You also have the blue jay. Depending on which way you look at it, you see different things and different symbolism in it. And this is, when you're doing intuitive art, you pull things from the subconscious mind. So I'm usually in a meditative state when I do that. And it ends up being really cool because you can kind of pull different collective ideas and experiences. So anyhow, today when I was meditating, it was Spirit was bringing up finishing what we start, and then it was speaking on procrastination and the benefits of procrastination, and then also finding peace in the limitation of your intellect, and time and surrender to answer the riddle. And then when I pulled some cards on that, I got the cave and the shaman and the fault line. So the cave and the shaman is very hermit energy, Buddha energy. You know, he left his family, went off to an isolated place, and began learning his teachings there and his wisdom. And then I also pulled the fault line. And this card speaks of how the Japanese, when pottery breaks, they use gold to kind of fuse the broken pieces. So they see carnage and wreckage as a beautiful thing. And speaking of, don't mind my nails, I've been gardening. So the fault line also reminds me of a dream I had. It was not so much a dream as it was like an astral projection. I was conscious and able to move and make decisions in the dream. But I was out in California. Now I live over on the East Coast, but I was in California, specifically like the Catalina Island, and I was in a place called Del Mar, and there was a ballroom. And I was in this ballroom, and there ended up being an earthquake, and I was trying to save people I loved, and everybody did end up being okay, but it was a very interesting dream. And then this card came up too for a paradigm shift. Okay. So I'm going to set those up here. So it kind of seems like something's being forced. If you think of the cave and the shaman and the fault line, a cave is not usually a very safe place to be during an earthquake. So it's kind of like you're being called out, or knowledge is your knowledge is being called for. And speaking of things, or finishing what we start, I did mean to read out of this book at the last reading I posted, and I did not. So we'll make sure we finish that today. Okay. Let's get any further messages on this here. We'll pull some tarot. We have the King of Pentacles. And he's kind of got that cave looking behind him. In stone. Something very rigid, I'm feeling. Something very rigid energy. And then we have the Two of Wands here. This is an attempted manifestation. And the Hierophant. So this is that teacher, shaman energy here. Spiritual teachings. Also has a very cave energy in it as well. This is an ascended master coming through. Then you have the Eight of Pentacles. This is craft, something that's being worked on. It's not quite completed, but it's well on its way. And I wanted to pull some archetype cards. This is an archetype deck here, and so is this as well. And we have Lover, great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. And then we also have the Alchemist here, and you also have that love. This speaks to me of a project that was started with affection. Do you have the key there? A love project. Love can be a very great motivator. And then we have that earthquake energy again with fulfillment. And this has come up a few times about really love your peaches, wanna shake your tree. Really love your peaches, wanna shake your tree. And when you talk about that, it's about shaking the tree and the fruit will fall. I'm also getting how important adversaries are to our journey. It's like they have to kind of shake your tree, which isn't really comfortable, to get the knowledge from you or wisdom from you. And then you have the moon, and we did have that blue moon last night, which also, you can kind of see it floods into that painting I posted too. And the blue moon does speak about past things that you've wanted that didn't come to fruition, bringing them back up, bringing up memory or memories from the past. Remembering something you wanted that you didn't get, and maybe now it's coming back up. Protagonist and antagonist. So this reminds me of a conversation I had with someone one time about the placebo effect. And they said that people who did the placebo effect were charlatans. So say they give one person who's got a headache an Advil, and they give the other person a sugar pill, and both of their headaches go away. Is it the mind over matter that caused the headache to go away with the placebo? But anyhow, when you have somebody who's naysaying what you're saying, it does cause you, and you know that there's truth in it. When you have an antagonist, it causes you to kind of bring everything you can to prove you're right, or to bring all your knowledge somewhere to prove your case, state your case. That's coming up. And maybe that takes time to do. Maybe there's something that had happened. It seems like there's something that happened in the past that you're just now being able to prove. Very much could be that. Innocence, purity, and redemption suggests a special connection with the divine. Right. I feel like there's a common theme with like light workers, if you will, if you call it that. Some people call it star seeds. I just call it elevated consciousness, basically. It's easier to label things, but it's hard for me to put things in a box. But it seems like perhaps you were trying to tell somebody that you are this, a divine being, okay? They didn't believe you. And it seems like this has been a long time coming. But they would do this, they would shake your tree. I don't believe you, but they certainly sure like to keep talking to you and follow you on certain platforms. And there is a tower moment in this. There's some kind of flipped on its end, I'm hearing. There's something kind of coming through, a disruption, a sudden aha moment. Aha. Power, the fault line. Very much resemble each other there. Spirit, show me more on what this lover and divine child is. It's very hard if you have a loving relationship with somebody and one of you wakes up and the other one does not. Not everybody can see everything other people can see. We have the Two of Pentacles. So this is very much having one foot on the ground, one foot in heaven type of energy. As above, so below. Two different perspectives. This is the Ace of Pentacles here. This is a divine offering. So it's like, Spirit gave you something here. And even though you're an earthly being, you are a spirit in an earthly body. That's obvious here. And then you have the Chariot, right? Two things. You're taking two aspects of yourself and going in one direction with it. This is not being two separate things. This is the combining of them. A lot of Pentacle energy here too. Then we have the Three of Pentacles. You're getting by with a little help of your friends. The Queen of Pentacles. So there's the Queen popped out there too. We had that King earlier. The Hanged Man. And the High Priestess. It's like when you started connecting with your spirit guides in the spiritual realm, it did help you become more self-sufficient. You didn't need for as much. You didn't have the attachments you had previously. You saw a different perspective, perhaps had to isolate and separate yourself from somebody. And then these three things did cause this here. This is the High Priestess archetype, if you will, okay? This is the having knowledge and power, but it's not an outwardly shown energy. I do think of, like, when you think of the cave and the shaman, the High Priestess is a shaman. So we have the Hierophant and the Priestess here, which is the divine couple. They're both teachers. They both have a lot of wisdom. And then you also have this King and Queen of Pentacles here. So this is more the earthly energy of these two, right? This is very much speaking about how we came to be, the struggles we've gone through, learning to teach from it. It's not always how you say it's not always what you say, it's how you say something. And people may not consciously understand you, but subconsciously, trust me that they are taking something from it. It's like the art I make is very, very weird. And sometimes when people look at my art, it makes them feel a little funny because, or it's kind of not, I don't know, say disturbing, but you know, it can be some of the things that I draw. But it speaks to people's subconscious. And symbolism is coming up big time here too. So symbolism is a universal language. Maybe if you can't speak to somebody with words, you can with symbols. I'm also pulling something through the ethers. So like when you're doing intuitive art, you might pull the things that when you're meditating. For me personally anyway, my mind is kind of out into the ethers. You know, that's where I get my ideas in a higher perspective. I wouldn't even say ideas because I'm literally just drawing and painting without any thought, okay? It's a completely open channeled for whatever wants to come through can come through. And it shows up in symbolism. So perhaps this situation is saying what you couldn't get across to somebody previously. Perhaps you've learned a better way with time and just surrendering, okay? And it does seem like there's some kind of love here for this person that maybe you've never given up on them, but you've had to go your own way because you are being led in a different direction. Chosen, if you will. Although I think we're chosen when we choose, okay? All right, let's see a little bit more on that here. Enlightenment. That's all it is. It's just enlightenment. But you can see it's leaving the water and kind of going up into universal territory. Let's get one more of those. Insecurity, and then there you have that cave drawing. So it is very, you know, typically secure being tucked away in a cave. You can see all these cave drawings here. Ancestral, and this is symbolism again, you know. These are drawings of symbolism with universal meaning. So this is what the shaman had drawn in the cave, the different symbolisms. And maybe it's speaking to that this is how you'll find security, perhaps financial security. And let's get a closing message with this here. Stillness, reflect on this moment with love, kindness, and compassion. And more of that stillness, just time and surrender. And they will not forget to read from the Museum of Wonders today. Oh, wow. Seeing what wasn't there before. And this was what I was saying in that last reading I just did. They now see what they didn't see before. And the protagonist for the highest good. Do you see? It's like learning to love our adversaries because they make us move. It's like, I will prove you wrong. And I'm getting the chills, so Spirit is connecting with me. And yeah, we were talking about finding the answer to that riddle. Unknown for a particular reason. A mysterious meaning, underdog, and hidden. Okay? So I would love to know how this resonates for you. I know how it resonates for me. But when you leave a message kind of fluid enough and you don't get so particular with things, It kind of allows spirit to reach many people, kind of touch on your situations, and at the very least, just to kind of ponder and meditate on your own circumstance, because maybe there's a little bit of a puzzle piece to a greater understanding for you. Getting the chills again there. And then Spirit wants to get one more here. Yes, your own reflection. Something that makes smiles. So yeah, maybe be lighthearted. Just, be patient and just surrender to the process here and wait for the spiritual guidance. And then this one, places on the grid or meeting. This was when I was astral projecting to California. So California might resonate with you. Del Mar, Catalina Islands. Please let me know. And if you like this video, please give it a like so other people can find it. It does help the algorithm. Okay, so let's get into the Museum of Wonders. And I love these little whimsical things here. Let's find something that we feel will disguise. All right, so since there happened to be a bookmark in here, we'll just read this. Whatever else is unsure in this stinking dunghill of a world, a Yumberan's devotion is not. It says all peculiardom would be diminished if any of our types were to vanish. So it's speaking on the archetypes again there, perhaps, or types of beings, which you'll have to get this book to understand that further. But there is only one type of peculiar we could not survive without, the Yimberan. I say this not to boast, though I am deeply proud to be a Yimberan. The mantle of Yimberanhood is a heavy one I sometimes wish I could set down. But without the protection we offer, peculiars would have been hunted to extinction long ago. To be born with the powers of a Yimberan is to inherit a terrible and awesome responsibility, one that nobody is permitted to shirk. It is the only peculiarity that binds one by law to perform certain duties. If we are the most powerful and important of peculiars, we are also the least free. Okay, so that is actually a very strong message there. Okay, time to come out of the cave. Come out wherever you are. Have a great day.